This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where every week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, latest film and TV scoops, along with our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your host, Cheryl.
And Jay.
We're doing something new, guys, so we might have a little fumbles this episode, but that's okay.
It's fun.
It is fun. Okay, so for this week, we watched the movie Boy Kills World. We and maybe 10 other people in the United States of America watched this movie because it didn't have a huge box office. But we'll get to that in our review. But Jay is on deck to quiz me for movie trivia. I am ready.
Okay, so this trivia is for Boys Kills World.
Okay.
There was another actor that was considered for the role of Boy, which was played by Bill Skarsgard in this film.
Okay.
This actor is a comedian.
Okay.
Who was this actor?
Comedian? Is he white?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yes.
I mean, I got to narrow it down somehow. What's his name? Pete Davidson.
Wow, you got that very quickly.
Hey! I don't know why, though, but I could see him playing this character. I don't think it would have I wouldn't have believed the stunts as much, but he could have got the voiceover timing right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's very interesting. I could see it. It would have worked. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Bill did good.
Okay, so that is the movie trivia for this episode. Let's get into the rest of the episode. Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so on the agenda this week, we have a couple movie announcements. We have a few cars in the trailer park and a healthy Buncha Crunch, which is interesting considering Buncha Crunch is not healthy at all. And this is all before we get into our review for Boy Meets World. That's not the right title. Boy Kills World, which is the total opposite of Boy Meets World. All right, so at the top of our agenda today, there was a movie announcement from, I don't know what source this came from, Deadline, Hollywood Reporter. I think they all reported it, but Keke Palmer and SZA are set to star in a new Issa Rae produced movie. This will be coming from Issa Rae's production company, Who Rae. She will be producing it. It is a untitled buddy comedy movie. So I was trying to think of another buddy comedy.
The Heat?
The Heat?
The Heat with
what movie is that?
Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, yes.
Where they were both cops.
They were both cops, right? So think of some movie where it's like two comedians.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers would also be a buddy comedy.
They don't have that many black ones now that I think about it. I mean, Bad Boys. Not just like they have buddy cop ones.
Yeah, I said those are buddy. I'm trying to think of ones where they're not cops.
Friday.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Very good example. I don't think has SZA been in anything movie.
I don't know if she's been in any movies.
Okay. So the duo together, they were most recently on a episode of Saturday Night Live. So Keke Palmer was the host, SZA was the musical guest, and they have that very popular meme where Keke Palmer is looking suspicious, and then SZA looks at her like, I don't know, girl.
Right.
So that we don't have anything about the plot or when it's coming out. The director for this will be Lawrence Lamont, who also directed the show Rap-ish. That's not the actual term, but we can't say that because we don't flag this podcast for explicit content. But the that TV show was also produced by Issa Rae, if I'm not mistaken. It's currently canceled, unfortunately, but he got more work, so good for him.
Yes,
I'm excited for this because it sounds different.
And Keke Palmer's funny.
SZA
is funny because she was on Saturday Night Live and she did that skit with the I Need a Big Boy.
Oh, did I see
That's where that song is from.
Oh, okay. They always have
cuffing season.
Okay. Yeah. They always have the musical artist do a sketch.
Mm-hmm.
So that they obviously clicked very well with each other to be doing a movie. So as more news comes out about this, we will let you guys know. But I like it. I'm liking it. I don't even know what it's about, but I like it.
Next piece of news. Al Pacino and Dan Stevens are set to play Priest in a new movie called The Ritual. This is this is another film in the long upcoming line of like ritual or like
Exorcism
movies.
Priests.
There was just
Catholic
Immaculate
Church,
that just came out. Like a lot of them are being based about the Catholic Church, but this one's by Al Pacino and Dan Stevens, starring. It's based on a true story that follows two priests, one questioning his faith, that's Dan Stevens' character, and one reckoning with a troubled past, that's Al Pacino, who must put aside their differences to save a possessed young woman through a difficult and dangerous series of exorcisms.
Oh, she gotta have multiple. Ugh.
Ugh.
Is it gonna be a horror?
I don't know, but I'm excited about it because it's given Al Pacino going back to the Devil's Advocate vibes.
Lord. He was the actual devil
movie
in that movie, though.
I know. So it's within the realm.
Okay, sure.
And Al Pacino was so over the top in the Devil's Advocate.
He's gonna be over the top in this.
So, and he is, because he's like one of those actors who's like super like animated. The film is an authentic portrayal of Emma Schmidt, an American woman whose demonic possession culminated in harrowing exorcisms. Her case remains.
I didn't Google it. It's like, I don't want to know.
I'm not bringing that demon into my home.
Not my laptop.
Her case remains the most thoroughly documented exorcism in American history.
Interesting.
I didn't know that this was based on a real
I didn't either until I read the Variety. This came from Variety. I read the article and was like, oh, this is based on Now, a lot of these exorcism movies are based on quote unquote true stories. But this one is actually following somebody who has been documented.
Yeah.
Like I said, I ain't Google it, but we'll see. Dan Stevens was cool in Godzilla X Kong. He's also in Abigail, which we haven't seen yet. I mean, Al Pacino's Al Pacino.
He's going to be in Cuckoo.
Yes. I'll keep it on a radar. We'll let you guys know about it for the podcast, but as far as watching, we'll see.
Yeah, because I initially thought Dan Stevens was a comedic actor, but Cuckoo doesn't seem funny.
No.
And this doesn't seem funny.
No, and Abigail is kind of like a horror comedy, right?
Yeah, but so it seems like everybody's supposed to be funny in Abigail.
Right, right. He's got range, as they say.
So we will keep an eye out on The Ritual. And I mean, like always, I need to see a trailer.
Oh, absolutely. Next up, LaKeith Stanfield's getting more work. Congrats to him. He will be now. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but did you see when Julia Gardner was announced as Silver Surfer? He did a post and delete where he said, "Oh, I thought, what did he say? Something about
I thought it was going to be me."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, interesting."
I don't know if he was being funny or serious.
My thing is, that's not how you get into Marvel. Because they are known for saying no to this, but yes to this. But anywho, he got another job, y'all. He will be leading and producing another video game. Well, not another for him, but we are getting another video game adaptation of a game called El Paso Elsewhere. He will be the lead in that. This is based on a neo-noir vampire video game that just came out last year.
Yes.
Now,
it has a following. People who I follow who are like popular streamers, like Andy Cortez, for example. They got really excited about this, so it's popular, even though it's fairly
I was going to
recent.
say the adaptations we've gotten so far have been for pretty established video games.
Yeah.
So this must either have the sales or the fan base, or it must just be a really cool concept.
Or it's like the whole Catholic movies. It's following in the vein of now we're getting a flurry of vampire films.
Well, somebody also said this is kind of following along the lines of like the scarier video games, like not Leave the World Behind, The Last of Us. You know where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So it's
horror section of video games.
Yeah. So there's no writer, no director yet. The project is still looking for a studio home, so we'll see who picks it up. The game centers around a vampire hunter named James Savage, who is on a hunt for his ex-girlfriend named Janet, aka Dracula, who seeks to bring about the end of the world, of course, because what else do vampires do other than kill people and try to end the world?
So we're going to get every vampire film and character before Blade?
Yes.
Even though Blade was announced first?
I told you. Marvel announced Blade was coming out, and everybody was like, oh, this is going to be the new hotness. Let's get our vampire movies popping. Except I think everybody expected Blade to be out already, but everybody's just coming.
Marvel
before.
Really fumbled because now it's almost
but
like
what
by
if
the
Blade
time
is the best?
What if by the time Blade comes out, people are tired of vampire movies?
No, but Blade is Blade though. I feel like it doesn't matter how many come out. Blade is still Blade. Now, it don't have to be good. And also Ryan Coogler's is probably also going to be very
competition.
Good. Yes.
To be going against a Ryan Coogler vampire film.
Blade not coming out till 2027, so it don't matter. It'll be enough time.
God.
Something like that, for sure.
This is exciting. I like vampire action films.
Okay.
Like Blade. This
I
seems like
LaKeith
it's going to be like that.
As well. I didn't love him in, what did we just see? Book of Clarence. But I liked him in other things.
We liked him in The Haunted Mansion.
And I liked him in Harder They Fall.
This definitely seems like the type of project LaKeith Stanfield will be interested in and the type of character he will be playing.
He does
also,
different stuff.
Additional details about this story. It's James Savage, the main character in El Paso Elsewhere, is a narcotics addicted vampire.
Oh, yeah, that's a touch of spice.
And he's a vampire hunter. So, yeah.
Oh, he's a vampire and a vampire hunter.
And he's addicted to narcotics.
So he's Blade on drugs.
Lots of layers here.
He's Blade on drugs, y'all.
It's
going to be very dark, probably very gory, probably a little touch of comedy, probably. Maybe. I actually don't play the video game. Is it funny?
I don't know. I haven't played it before. It's a third-person shooter.
Okay, so maybe not funny.
Yeah. I don't usually play, like, shooters. I like slashers.
Okay.
Or like
a Final Fantasy.
Yeah. I like slashers, but it has a following. Stunts are going to be extremely important for this. I'm thinking
every vampire movie is going to have
I'm thinking it needs to have like Boy Kills World type of like stunt choreo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was extreme.
It was good.
It was good.
So
but it was
see if Chad Stahelski is busy.
Yeah, right. I'm curious. The director is going to be the director and the writer are going to be very important. Although it's a video game, so you kind of get a little grace because you can just follow the video game.
Yeah.
But the director is going to be important. Get Sam Raimi.
Yeah. And LaKeith Stanfield he's a good actor, but some of his movies are like hit and miss. They're not very consistent, but this is good because he gets the opportunity he picked it clearly, and he gets the opportunity to produce it. So maybe this is his chance to do something that he's directly interested in.
We need Blade before Blade, so why not?
Yeah, let's use this to test the waters.
Exactly. Before this will probably come out after Ryan Coogler's because they're already shooting that one.
Yes.
So we're going to get Ryan's first, then this one, then Blade. Maybe.
Yeah, and they all seem to be period films. I think Blade no longer is.
Yeah,
Blade was going to be like a period film. Brian Coogler's is set in the 1930s. This is early 2000s. So maybe that'll be the thing that separates them.
Is the time period.
You can distinctly tell that they take place in different times. I'm cool with that.
And they're all black vampires.
Yes, and they're all like black vampire films. So that's super cool.
Give it to me now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Next up, we have some movies that moved around. Wild Robot, which is the animated film coming out from not Disney. I can't remember what studio, but it's not Disney, right?
No, it's not.
Okay. It's somebody. It looks good. I'll tell you that. This is where Lupita Nyong'o is voicing the robot, and it's got a stacked voice cast as well. However, they did not like the fact that Transformers 1 was opening the same day.
And we called it.
So they moved it to September 27th. I think it was originally coming out September 10th, which is when Transformers 1 comes out. Other moves on the calendar, Sony moved both Kraven and Karate Kid. So Kraven has been moved 4 times.
Move Kraven to the dumpster.
Well, not yet. This got one more stop, and its current stop.
Wants it.
Its current stop is December 13th, so it moved from October to December. There's no explanation as to why, but I'm going to wonder if it didn't want to open close to Venom.
Is Kraven a Christmas film?
It's not. It's opening. The crazy part about it is Aaron Taylor Johnson also has Nosferatu opening on Christmas. So he's got 2 movies coming out a week apart, which good for him.
Yeah. He's also in line to be James Bond.
Hopefully,
we hear he's the front runner.
Nosferatu is good because I don't feel too confident about Kraven. So is he going to have a dud and a bomb? Or
Bill Skarsgard is supposed to be Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Nosferatu going to be the good movie and Kraven going to be the movie.
Somebody said it's a do one for them, one for you.
Oh, okay.
Where you do one for the studio and then
I guess
they pay you back by giving you a good one.
So yeah, as we all know, Sony's Spider-Verse movies do not do very well. Madam Web was the last. Venom is coming out this October, and then Kraven now is coming out this December. So we'll see. We'll see.
They have a poor track record in successful
horrible.
Spider-Verse films
Horrible.
that don't include Spider-Man.
Right.
Venom is like the best received
Only
one,
the
even though
first
it's like
Venom is
medium. Like,
yeah, the second Venom was not good.
yeah, the second Venom was too much Venom, which is strange to say. It's the same issue they had with Deadpool 2.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Deadpool.
And it
2
seems
either,
like in Venom
fairness.
3, The Last Dance, they're just rolling into full-on camp and unseriousness. So,
Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. But Craven's not coming out to December now. And Karate Kid, I can't remember the original date, but it is now moving to summer 2025. So they've totally kicked it off all of 2024, which Karate Kid feels more like a summer movie anyway. I'm sure they're going to target kids and teenagers, and it makes sense to get them where they're out of school. So I'm not a huge Karate Kid fan, so I can't say I'm looking forward to it.
I'll take another look at the Marvel release schedule to see
what else?
if these are moving closer or further away from other Marvel projects that are supposed to come out.
So it would definitely...
Marvel plans them out years in advance.
It's definitely probably going to run up against Captain America 4, probably.
Yeah.
But if they put it and Superman...
Oh, yeah. DC is rebooting as well.
So... Hopefully it's probably in like May and not July, because they might be pushing it for that. Those were the only movie moves, but it's pretty significant for Sony. Craven has moved 4 times. So anytime you move a movie that many times, it's not really a good look. Yeah. So now let's do the trailer park.
All right. Pulling into the trailer park, the first trailer we have to discuss is Deadpool and Wolverine. This is technically the second. Yes. This is the second trailer, even though the first one felt like a teaser.
Okay, sure. I'll get
This is the second trailer, and it's more centered on Wolverine, which is exactly who we did not get in the first trailer.
You're right.
So this one kind of fleshes out the whole plot of the first movie. Kind of. It fleshes out why Wolverine is there, but it doesn't really flesh out what exactly they're doing.
Yes, which I appreciate. Now, the trailer's about 2 full minutes, and you would think 2 full minutes you can get, okay, now I know what's going on. Quite. We know Wolverine is not the same Wolverine from Logan.
Yeah.
We know that much. So we are in a lot of complaints came from when they even announced this movie, because they're like, Logan's dead. Y'all keep bringing back dead people.
Yeah, people were mad that they were going to undo
matter.
the ending of Logan.
Right. Skirt. It's not the same one, because in the trailer we see a bunch of what looks like tombstones.
Yeah, and
maybe of other X-Men.
The cemetery for the X-Men and Logan looked like a regular cemetery.
Yes.
This one looks
very national park.
Yeah.
It looks like somebody put money behind this cemetery.
Yeah, it looks otherworldly, this cemetery. So apparently he's from some universe where and it wasn't his fault in Logan that the X-Men died. It was Professor X's. Right. And they drop in the trailer that this Wolverine is responsible for the failure of his universe and the death of all of his X-Men.
So we don't get why to that in the trailer.
No.
We do get that. What is Deadpool's real name? Wade. We get that Wade is on some mission to save his universe, and he needs Wolverine's help. We don't fully understand.
But we don't know from what.
We don't know from what. We do see that Cassandra Nova
is the villain.
We see a large Ant-Man head in the what do they call it in the TV?
The Void.
The Void. There's some more cameo appearances from other Wolverine characters.
Lady Deathstrike from X-Men 2. There's Azazel from First Class. He's the Nightcrawler.
Right, basically.
In First Class. And Pyro.
We know Pyro. We know Thor's going to be in it.
Toad.
I didn't see Toad.
Toad it's in that long shot where they're standing outside of Ant-Man's head. It flashes for a second. You have to see him. You have to look at a screen grab, but it's Lady Deathstrike, Azazel, and Toad all standing together.
I missed that.
Yeah.
And then I guess one of the other big things in the trailer is we see a portal open, but we don't say who opens it. So it could either be Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange portal.
It could be Wong. It could be Evil Strange. It will not be Madison because she's too busy having cocktails at happy hour. It could literally be anybody. That could be Sorcerer Supreme.
And we don't know where they're going.
And we also don't know where. We see them jumping into the portal. We don't see who opens it. We don't see where they go.
I thought it could be Ned from
It could be
from Spider-Man.
Although I feel like Doctor Strange would have snatched that sling ring back.
He did use a sling ring successfully and No Way Home to open a portal for Doctor Strange.
He did. I'm curious about the TVA in this because they don't seem good.
They do seem sinister,
like Wade
is clearly killing a lot of them.
Wade is killing them, and then Wolverine and Deadpool are also fighting. So there's very much kind of like happening here?
I think it's a trap. I think they intentionally put Deadpool in the void because why would you need to go into the void for anything? The void is like basically...
And you're not supposed to be pulling people out of there.
Yeah, the void is basically like the multiverse trash bin. You throw people in there.
It's purgatory.
Yeah, when they've become a problem.
Right.
So...
Interesting.
And we saw that at the end of Deadpool 2, the after credit scene was that, well, the end credit scene was that he got some time travel device and he was going around changing things in the timeline. Right. So maybe that's why they threw him in the void because of that.
Interesting.
And they threw Wolverine in the void too.
They go to him in the first trailer saying that they need his help. That's why I'm confused.
I don't trust the guy that runs the TVA in this.
I don't either.
Because it's not the same people.
It's not our peoples.
He's murdering them in this trailer pretty horribly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I will probably get one more trailer for this before it comes out. As we probably have said 100 times, we will actually be at Comic-Con when this movie comes out. So we're hoping to see it that weekend amongst all the fellow nerds.
It's going to be chaos.
Ridiculous. We're probably gonna have to see it twice because there's gonna be so much kiki and laughing.
It's gonna be like
during the movie.
It's gonna be like the opening scene in Scream 2 with Jada Pinkett Smith. And
yes.
They went to see Stab, and the people were being completely nuts in the movie theater.
We'll live through it. Obviously.
It's gonna look like that.
But yeah, interesting.
Next stop at the trailer park is The Watchers. This is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. This is
his daughter's movie.
Yes. M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's movie. M. Night Shyamalan has a different movie.
Track.
Yeah, they both are making like films at the same time. It's very interesting.
Oh, they're gonna play that promo.
Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be like
as they should.
You know what? If they're smart, they'll do a Barbenheimer thing and make it like a double feature.
They come out close. I think Trap comes out in August.
Yeah.
So
if
they're
smart, they would capitalize on the fact that 2 Shyamalan thrillers are coming out.
I feel like they might.
Yeah.
Oh, they should. Why not?
They should do like a drive-in promotion and put one on each screen or something or back to back. But anyway, this movie stars Dakota Fanning and a couple other cast members. Basically, the trailer shows us Dakota Fanning driving somewhere. We don't know. She's taking a road trip. She gets stuck somewhere in a forest.
To me, it looked like she loses not consciousness, but it seemed like she drives and she kind of zones out, and then when she comes to, she's in a forest.
Yeah, but she doesn't know how she got there, and her car has disappeared.
Yes.
The only thing she has is herself and a parakeet. And there's a woman who opens a door.
Yes,
in the middle of nowhere.
It's creepy.
Yeah, and basically tells Dakota Fanning to get in, or the door's gonna close in 5 seconds. So she and we hear some creepy like animalistic monster noises.
You know what? It gives me Signs a little bit,
and a little bit of The Village.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Nope, Signs and Village, because somewhere in the trailer somebody says something about they're not supposed to be here. I'm like, that's giving Alien.
Yeah. So basically, Dakota Fanning and these 3 other people are stuck in the forest in this room that has like
a box. It's almost like a trailer.
Yeah.
Almost.
It has a 2-way mirror, and basically they're stuck there because there are these monsters that are just obsessed with watching people.
Yeah, but I don't understand what they're supposed to do in there. It's not a very big trailer.
It's a Shyamalan film, so you're not going to know until the very end.
Are the beds below?
And that's guessing if you'll know by the end of the movie.
Where's the bathroom and the kitchen?
But basically, the people in there say that whatever these monsters or otherworldly beings are, enjoy just watching and observing them.
Right,
and they don't harm you unless you follow their rules, but we don't know what their rules are.
And they're moving about the forest. And
if you see one, then they kill you.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for the guy in the trailer.
It's not looking good.
For one of the guys in the trailer.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too bad.
I see them. I always see these films.
Well, I was going to say, if you're not a horror person, it looks like something I can handle.
It looks heavy thriller.
It looks more thriller, and we might get some creepy images, but it's not giving like Evil Dead.
No, it has like those some zombie twitch moments where people are like looking possessed and clearly twitching.
Right. Weirdly. Or there's like stairs into like darkness and you waiting for something to come out and get you.
Yes. Or people are getting snatched and drug off somewhere, but you can't see the figure that's doing it.
Right.
So it's got a good cast. Dakota Fanning is really good. She was just in that Ripley
Yes.
remake on Netflix that people seem to really like. So shout out to her. Good for her. Shout out to this young Shyamalan director.
I think it's his daughter.
Yes, it's his daughter. Ashana. Yeah. So this comes out on June 7th, and we will probably be going to see this.
Yeah. I like a little spook.
Yeah.
A spooky movie.
Next stop in the trailer park is a movie that had a trailer that honestly was better than I expected it to be.
Oh, we are on opposite sides.
So
yeah, go ahead.
The next movie we have on our list is a movie called Atlas. This is starring Jennifer Lopez, Sterling K. Brown, and Simu Liu.
Mark Strong is also in this.
Mark Strong is also in this. Is he the voice?
No, he's in the trailer for like 2 seconds.
Basically,
I don't know who the voice is, though, to be honest with you. I didn't look it up.
It takes place in the far future. We get glimpses of like a super futuristic town.
Pacific Rim.
Kind of like Star Trek a little.
Yes.
And Jennifer Lopez basically plays this character who's hunting down a rogue AI robot played by Simu Liu, who is a AI terrorist.
It looks like it.
It looks like
it's a good description.
It's following the standard.
He's become self-aware and he has a body, so now he wants to, take over.
Yeah, it's
the world.
Robot.
Yeah,
He's become the standard AI who I was created. I'm better than humanity, so there's no reason to keep humanity. Right, there's no reason to keep humanity around because you guys are useless. Blah blah blah. So she's on a personal mission to take him down. It looks like their ship gets into an accident or blows up, and she has to jump into this giant mechanized robot transformer. It's like Titanfall. If you played the video game Titanfall, it's about a guy and his AI robot. They get stranded somewhere, and he uses the robot to like navigate and fight his way back home. Yeah, and she basically has to. I don't know if it's xenophobia. If it's
she AI. Doesn't like she's like iRobot. Will Smith's character didn't like AI. She's very much like that. She's like, I'm anti-AI. I'm old school. I don't trust AI. And the AI is like, no, but I'm the good guy.
Trust me, just like the one good robot in iRobot.
Exactly.
So they are stranded on an uninhabitable planet that is also hostile, and they have to work together to survive. And
they also have to stop Harlan, who is the name of the Simu Liu's character.
Yes.
So there's like 2 plots, I guess.
Yeah. The plot is thin. But what impressed me was the visual effects.
Okay.
And it looks like the action sequences might be pretty good. The last action sequence in the trailer where it's the robot running across and it's like a long take and it's shooting things and doing flips and blowing stuff up. It looks Transformers. It's Transformers-esque.
CGI good.
The best part of Transformers is the robot fights.
Yes. CGI good. The storyline is giving cheese.
Yeah, the storyline is cheese.
But too cheese. Like, so in the trailer, she sees this. You see her having this back and forth with the AI. Like, I don't trust you, and the AI's like, please trust me. And he's trying to tell a joke, and she's like,
sassy.
The joke's not that funny, and she chuckled. I'm just kind of like, oh my god.
The AI learned to curse because it learns from Jennifer Lopez, and she curses.
It didn't land. The trailer didn't land for me.
You know what? I will say the trailer for Damsel didn't land, and the movie ended up being a lot better than I thought it would be.
Now, see, I'm the opposite. The trailer for Damsel did land for me, and I liked the movie.
I mean, Damsel flopped that ending, but the rest of Damsel was entertaining enough.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know.
It looks better than Heart of Stone.
Oh,
there's more to look at.
You know what? It's giving me Heart of Stone.
It's given Heart of Stone and the acting and plot, but it looks like it'll be more entertaining to look at than Heart of Stone.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
the plot will be basic like Heart of Stone.
This is going directly to Netflix, and it releases on May 24th. I will probably look at it. We've looked at worse.
Sure.
Unless anything else isn't coming out.
It's Mad Max weekend, sir.
Ooh.
It's the Memorial Day weekend.
So I'll look at it, but it may not make the podcast. I don't know if it's worth a double feature.
I'm trying to think. If something doesn't come out the weekend after that, then maybe we could check it out.
It's got to have great reviews.
It's not going to get great reviews.
Last stop on the trailer park is The Exorcism, not to be confused with The Exorcist.
Or the Exorcist movie we just talked about with Al Pacino and Dan Stevens.
Or The Pope's Exorcist, which is also an exorcism movie that stars Russell Crowe. Mm-hmm. But this comes out on June 7th. It is being produced by Kevin Williamson. If you are familiar with that, Kevin Williamson is the
Scream.
writer and producer of the Scream franchise. It stars Russell Crowe, Chloe Bailey, which was a surprise, Ryan Simpkins, she's a smaller actor, but she's been in one of the Fear Streets anthology Ryan Murphy movies that was on FX a couple years ago. David Hyde Pierce from Frasier.
Yep.
And Sam Worthington from Avatar.
And Clash of the Titans.
So, yes. So, basically, the plot of this movie is Russell Crowe is an actor who is replacing a actor. He's an actor for a film about an exorcism. Right. He was hired to replace an actor who died on set, and there's suspicious spiritual reasons behind that we won't spoil. But Russell Crowe is the new priest in this film. Chloe Bailey plays the lead actress in the film. Right. Who, it looks like they're just remaking The Exorcist. Something. But she mentions The Exorcist in the trailer. Right. So, but it looks like she's playing the lead actress.
She's an actress playing an actress.
In The Exorcist. And Chloe Bailey's character mentions, whenever you do these type of spooky exorcism movies, she mentions The Exorcist. There's always like the fear and stigma about weird otherworldly things happening behind the scenes on the set and spooky stuff. So just like she says, it looks like Russell Crowe's character becomes possessed as they are filming this movie.
His definitely looks like something taking over. And then his daughter, who Ryan plays, is trying to help him.
Yeah,
keep him alive.
David Hyde Pierce plays an actual priest.
Yes,
who is counseling her and telling her like, he's telling her like, I think your dad's gonna get possessed, and it looks like it goes in that way.
And we don't see Sam Worthington in the trailer.
We don't see Sam Worthington at all in the trailer. But he might be playing the original priest. I don't know if I got a good glimpse of the priest who died.
No, probably because it's not important.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. Maybe Sam plays her boyfriend or something.
Interesting.
Yeah. He getting work though, so good for him.
He is getting work. Russell Crowe seems to really like exorcism-based movies. He keep playing like this. It's actually going to happen.
No.
I don't know why you'd want to bring these. I don't know why you want to continue to play like exorcism type movies.
Because it's easy. Now, listen, I like Russell. Listen, Gladiator is one of my favorite movies. Russell Crowe is not in gladiator shape, and I feel like you got to do a lot to keep that shape. And it's clear he's kind of like, I ain't got to do that for these exorcism movies. I can just be.
He was in The Mummy. He was Dr. Jekyll in the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Oh, right. Oh, he was also Clark Kent's dad in Superman. How can you forget that?
Which Superman?
Zack Snyder Superman. He was.
That was not Russell Crowe. Oh yeah,
okay. I was gonna say that was Russell Crowe. Oh
yeah, I forgot. How did I forget when that was like the first 40 minutes of that long movie? Yeah, sir. So you're right.
Yeah, but you know what? Russell Crowe, I think. Oh, he was also Zeus in Love and Thunder.
Oh my gosh, he was Zeus.
So he's definitely kind of like, I'm taking a roles that don't require me to be super physical, and I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that at all.
It looks good and scary. It doesn't look like the scariest of these type of movies, but it looks kind of cheesy a little bit.
It does give a little cheese.
David Hyde Pierce was an interesting choice to play a priest.
He does. I actually didn't realize it was him till I looked up the cast.
I haven't seen David Hyde Pierce in forever. So
yes, I was kind of like, oh, because he's not in that Frasier show, right? That came out.
No, I don't think he returned for the
okay, yeah, he just looks older, but I didn't recognize him at first.
It looks good and spooky, but it doesn't look like the type of spooky I am particularly interested in.
Jesus, spooky.
Do think I saw the reviews and I saw a video on YouTube about Immaculate, so I'm gonna actually watch Immaculate. That looks like my type of spooky, but
gotcha.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right, we'll let you guys let us know. How about that?
They should capitalize on this. I wonder if this is going to be from the same production company. They should capitalize this and like do a double feature: The Pope's Exorcist and The Exorcism.
If it's the same studio, you're right. They could.
All right, so that is all of the stops in the trailer park. Let's dive into this Buncha Crunch.
Next up, something we were very excited about.
Yay!
Well, this is a two-parter here. Yes. So first part is Severance actor Tramell Tillman joins the next Mission Impossible movie.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Awesome.
Also, Severance actor Tramell Tillman is also going to be in season 2 because season 2 just finished filming they said this week.
Yay.
So we loved Severance. If you have not seen Severance, go watch it now. It's an Apple TV show that they don't promote
at all, like most Apple
It
TV
also
shows for some reason.
won a Peabody.
Yes.
Yes, we talked about that a few episodes ago. The show won a Peabody Award. It is very good. Make sure you catch up. They said season 2 is releasing.
What a cliffhanger.
Yeah, It's a season 2. So just know that whatever you see in season 1 gonna keep going.
Oh, yes.
It is coming out later this year. So we don't have a date. So sometime between now and December 31st.
Can't come fast.
I feel like I'm
enough.
going to rewatch the last episode again.
Absolutely. Even though the ending, that cliffhanger is
You can't forget it. Right. It's not a season ender where you will forget what happens, but the build up to, just watch it.
Yeah.
Just watch it. So awesome news for Tramell Tillman. I don't think I've seen him in anything else besides Severance.
No.
So good for him. Mission Impossible. We don't know what that next one going to be about because they have dropped the Dead Reckoning Part 2 moniker. So
yeah,
who knows?
If you don't know who Tramell Tillman is, just go on YouTube and Google rhythmic jazz.
Hello. Who also is in it? My favorite from Parks and Rec.
Ben.
Yes. Ben is the lead in that show. So check that out. Let us know what you think about it and make sure you're ready for season 2, which drops later this year. Other news in our Buncha Crunch: Scarlett Johansson's secret Marvel Studios project is revealed to be a Disney Plus series. Now, I went to go to the tweet we saved for this, and somebody found out because they've been stalking somebody's LinkedIn page. And the person who is the executive producer for this, somebody connected the dots, essentially. So somebody who Scarlett has already been working with recently updated, I guess, her LinkedIn page to say she was working on an upcoming Marvel Disney Plus show. And they were like, oh, ding, 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 ding. This must be Scarlett Johansson's show. So we don't know anything about this.
Has anybody heard from her since?
It's still up on LinkedIn because
Feige don't like that.
I just clicked at this. Well, in her defense, she doesn't explicitly say what the show is or who the show was with. It just says Disney Plus show. And what's funny, another funny thing, she used to be Kevin Feige's personal assistant, and then she got promoted to being a creative director. So I was like, oh, okay.
Internal hire.
Listen,
it's one heck of a promotion.
It is
a personal assistant to wow, yeah.
Yeah, and her bullet points is strong. Let me tell you that much. So she didn't explicitly say it. Somebody connected the dots. So there's nothing about the show that we know. We knew that she was working on something with Disney or with Marvel. We don't know if it's animated. We don't know if it's Black Widow centered.
We don't even know if it's a woman centered.
We don't know. Right. We don't know what character is going to focus on, but I think a lot of people were speculating how Scarlett's relationship with Disney or with Marvel specifically was going to be because she sued them mugs for her money.
Did, and she got it.
And they cut her check.
And she kept her job.
She kept her job. So she also has another movie coming out that she's
Jurassic City?
No, with Disney. Haunted
the Tower of Terror.
Yep.
Yeah. That's also supposed to be coming out.
Obviously, they cut her to check and all is good and well.
Yes.
So we'll keep you guys on the loop on what that is. I think it's going to lean towards being a woman-centered character.
It would be really cool if it's like A-Force, which is they take a lot of the female characters and do an Avengers level movie or event. And it's not outlandish because there's a long comic line of A-Force
that would be
team
cool.
ups.
I wonder if it's gonna be animated or live.
I hope it's live action. They've done enough animated stuff.
You want to break? You want to break from animated?
Let's get back into live action.
Okay. Well, we do have Agatha and Wonder Man coming.
Yeah, so let's just keep the ball rolling.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Next on our Buncha Crunch is Brian Tyree Henry has joined the cast of the untitled Pharrell Williams musical project we have talked about quite a few times. Every time somebody gets added to this cast, we talk about it. But if you didn't watch previous episodes, this will also star Oscar winner Divine Joy Randolph and Holly Bailey. So shout out to the Babysitters who is working. Can we please get a joint album while y'all at it again? Because that's where y'all started. We don't know much about this trailer about this movie other than it is about Pharrell's growing up in the Virginia projects.
And it's a jukebox musical.
It's got a good cast though.
Yeah.
So I also didn't know that Brian Tyree Henry was a singer. Has a singing voice.
You know what? I don't think you have to be a singer for a musical anymore.
Okay.
It seems like they'll be singing in Joker, and Joaquin Phoenix is absolutely not a singer.
You are correct. Okay. So shout out to Brian Tyree Henry, who we just most recently saw in Godzilla X Kong.
Yes, and he was good.
He was good. He
Yeah.
was fine. He was fine.
Next bunch to crunch on: Aaron Taylor Johnson, Jodie Comer, and Ralph Fiennes have been cast in a new 28 Years Later movie as part of the 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later trilogy.
Yes.
Civil War's Alex Garland is going to be writing the script for this. Very exciting. He did the other ones.
Right. I think he had made that comment about he wasn't directing any more movies because he fell out of love with it. So maybe he's now just writing movies.
Yeah, he didn't. People were like, "Oh, he's quitting." It's like, no, he didn't say he's going to stop making money. He just stopped directing.
He said he wasn't getting rid of his day job.
Yeah. At first I read this and I was like, wow, they're really trying to get big stars for these 28 movies because they were really small. But then I thought about it, and Cillian Murphy is a known
he's an
actor.
Oscar winner now.
Naomi Harris is a known actress.
Correct.
Brendan Gleeson. These were all people who were in the first one. They just weren't as big then as they were now. So now that these movies have the budget to cast like more known actors and stars, this makes sense.
Also, Aaron Taylor Johnson's getting checks.
Work back to back, which is funny because a lot of people are like, "Oh, we're not impressed with Aaron Taylor Johnson," but he gets roles.
Listen, so now we've got 28 Years Later, Nosferatu, Craven, maybe Bond, maybe. Although
Maybe
somebody
Bond.
asked him recently about Bond and feel like he's tired of being asked about it. It seemed like
Yeah, probably because he just can't say anything.
I don't think he got it.
Who
That didn't
else
get
would-
confirmed.
I mean, it hasn't been confirmed, but I don't know.
It could be anybody.
I didn't believe it when I first heard
I
it, but
don't
then
believe it
more and
now.
more people. I mean, it could just be a product of the rumor mill. And
I
people
think
playing
somebody. I
telephone.
think they're gonna get somebody no name so they can keep the budget low.
Theo James.
He's
Be a good young Bond.
He's a nice looking
Is he
guy.
British?
I don't know.
Okay.
He looked like he could be British.
I like Jodie Comer.
Yes.
Killing Eve.
Yes.
Free Guy.
Yes.
She's also in that Bike Riders movie that's finally coming out.
That we will not be seeing, but yes.
Didn't see The Last Duel. Will never. Read the spoiler.
You did correct. Same.
Glad I missed it.
Nope,
Wow.
don't need it.
Subject matter.
Not thank you.
And Ralph Fiennes.
I mean, he's rough.
He's literally Voldemort. And
Huh.
M from James Bond.
He is
So,
him from James Bond.
connection there.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Hollywood loves when they do that.
You're right, but I'm not buying it. I don't think he's Bond. Maybe. I'll
We
eat
shall see.
our script later if I am incorrect.
And other things that are unnecessary. We're getting a Rosemary's Baby prequel.
No,
Which-
I'm not watching it.
Okay, so let's just dive into this.
Okay.
Rosemary's Baby prequel, Apartment 7A, it has been announced. It's going to star Julia Garner, who is from Ozark, but she is also now the Silver Surfer in the
Correct.
upcoming Fantastic Four MCU movie.
Cha-ching.
The premise of this is when a struggling young dancer, who is Garner, suffers a devastating injury, Rosemary, she finds herself drawn in by dark forces when a peculiar, well-connected older couple promises her a shot at fame. It's set in 1965 New York City. Was Rosemary's Baby
I know you ain't asking me.
that old?
It's a very old
I haven't
movie.
seen it in so long, but
It's a very
I didn't know
old.
it was a 60s movie, but okay.
I know the movie's old. I don't know if
Was it set in the 60s?
we can ask our mom.
I have to look
no
that back
idea.
up. The film tells the story of Roman Polanski's horror classic, Rosemary's Baby. Roman Polanski, gross. You icky.
I could have left that out of the description.
Exploring what happened in the apartment before Rosemary moved in. Who cares? The most interesting thing that happened in there was that the devil was born.
Right.
Why are we doing a prequel of Rosemary's
Well,
Baby?
it's given that resurgence of exorcism, spooked, possessed people. So I don't know why
So
not.
are we going to find out that there were signs that Rosemary should have left a long time ago and she didn't? Because
Maybe. You know they like to rewrite things when they make these prequels.
what was more interesting than her giving birth to the devil's spawn?
Yeah, I don't know why this struggling
So
young
the
dancer
apartment
would
was
make a
always
difference.
cursed?
Interesting. I don't know. Somebody will like it. She's good though, so maybe they got a good person to attach to this movie because she's probably gonna get a new audience with Fantastic Four.
Well, we'll
and
see.
she already has an audience with Ozark, and she won a couple of awards for it. So.
We'll see what the audience is because it's not going to theaters. It's going straight to Paramount Plus.
What the? I missed that part. Get out of here.
It's not going to theaters.
Next bite.
It's gonna It's gonna come out this Halloween season. What's more interesting than the plot of this is the fact that it's produced by John Krasinski and Michael Bay.
I'm losing confidence here.
What does Michael Bay have to do with this? Is there going to be an explosion in the
Maybe
apartment?
he's having a career shift, like normal people do, where we shift careers. He's like, I want to do horror movies now.
We'll see. John Krasinski is good though. He's a good producer for horror stuff because, as we know, he produced The Quiet Place. So.
Right. I don't. Okay. Yeah. I'm not watching this.
No, I wasn't a fan of Rosemary's Baby, the original. I've only seen it once. It had a very slow build up.
But horror movies back then were very much about the slow build up.
And I mean, not saying it wasn't a bad movie, but I get really frustrated with films where nobody believes that there's something strange going on.
And they stay.
Except for the main character, and they stay.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you come to find out that it was all intentional. So, yeah.
We were doing this on purpose, just because we didn't like the way you smiled at us.
In better horror, we're getting a new Evil Dead movie that's been announced. Evil Dead movies are amazing.
I'm sure they are.
All of them.
For people who love horror movies.
They are so outside of your realm.
That's why I always say there's levels, y'all.
You would never see an Evil Dead film, especially the newer ones.
I don't like the trailers and the commercials. I cover my eyes when they come on.
Yeah.
That's how bad.
Evil Dead does a lot of body horror and that teeters on the edge of torture and possession, and you do not like that type of stuff. But
Lord, I don't.
Very good, very campy, also very funny movies. Strange, but we're getting another one. Okay. This is being directed by Francis Galuppi. His most notable film is The Last Stop in Yuma County.
That's a horror movie, isn't it?
I think you're thinking of The Last Train to Busan.
Oh,
yes,
you're right.
I don't think Last Stop in Yuma County is a horror movie, but it is well liked. I don't know if it's considered critically acclaimed, but it is well liked. It definitely got him this job. He's a newer director. The Evil Dead movies are produced by Sam Raimi. And we just saw Boy Kills World.
Right.
Sam Raimi loves blood. That's like a big requirement.
He like, if I can't do no blood, don't ask.
Blood,
to do anything.
horror, and a little bit of body horror and gore is Sam Raimi's thing.
He does it well.
This is exciting. And the last piece of crunch in the bunch is Elizabeth Moss has confirmed that the Invisible Man 2 is definitely happening.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah, I really like the ending of Invisible Man 1. And
let's not spoil it, but I don't see how there's a 2 though.
I definitely do.
Okay.
But I think it'll be just a different bad guy.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I was kind of like, how you do a 2 with how 1 ended? But okay.
I mean, we might as well just go ahead and talk about that.
Okay, if you don't want to be spoiled, stop, pause, skip to the movie review because this is our last bit of Buncha Crunch. But she killed him.
Yes. So the Invisible Man in the Invisible Man film was her abusive husband.
Correct.
She killed him and made it seem like he killed himself because she put on the invisible suit as revenge. And I mean, it needed to be done. He had to go.
Right.
And
I guess for people to know, it wasn't a supernatural situation.
Right.
It was a suit.
And it was such a great ending because she deserved to kill that man.
Exactly.
And it ends where it takes the invisible suit because she's the only person who knows this exists other than Aldous Hodge.
Right.
And she goes and kills him. She goes outside. Aldous Hodge picks her up and asks her, is it over? He doesn't know that she killed him though. And she's like, yeah. So maybe she's the new villain. She would technically be
if I like that though.
Well, I mean, who else?
Why
would she give that suit to anybody?
Well, that's why I'm asking. Maybe somebody else. Maybe it's gonna be the situation where somebody else knows about the software.
Oh yeah, maybe there's another invisible person.
Because
there were 2 suits in the Invisible Man. It was revealed that there were 2 suits.
There's no way he did this all by himself.
He had his brother help him. That was confirmed. But she killed him successfully. Right. She also killed the husband.
She killed the brother?
Yeah, she killed the brother because they thought that's how she found out that her husband was actually alive. Because she thought it was her husband in the suit, but it was the brother helping the husband.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was a good movie that I've seen most of the way.
Yeah. Good movie. Excited about seeing the second one.
I would watch the second one.
very interested in what the premise is going to be about.
Yes, also correct.
And I hope she's not the bad guy.
I don't like that concept.
I do like the fact that if there is another bad guy, I like the fact that she has a suit of her own. That makes it levels the playing field.
Two invisible people fighting.
Don't kill Aldous Hodge.
Please. He is not in enough movies, so let's not kill him in the movie he in.
Right. Okay, so that is all of the trailers, movie news, and Buncha Crunch this week. We are going to take a very short break and make sure that all of this new stuff that we're doing actually worked. And then we're going to get back into our movie review for the week, which is Boy Kills World.
Yay. All right, so now we are back for our movie review for Boy Kills World. It was released on April 26, 2024. It was directed by Mortz Moore. How you say his last name? Moore? Okay. Mortz Moore. We're going to, hopefully that's right, Mortz. This is his feature directorial debut. So this is his first movie. The cast of Boy Kills World is, as I open up my Wikipedia page.
I have it.
Oh, hit it.
We have Bill Skarsgard, who plays the titular character of Boy. Jessica Roth, Andrew Koji, Famke Jensen, who everybody should know as Jean Grey, the original Jean Grey. Yes. H. John Benjamin does the voice work for Boy. We also have Yayan Ruhian, who plays the character of Mentor, Michelle Dockery, Brett Gelman, and Cameron Crovetti, who plays the young Boy.
Gotcha. Okay. And there are several people in this who are also in other things. Most notably, young Boy is Homelander's son in The Boys. Mm-hmm. And then Yanan, who plays the shaman, was in, I looked him up and he's apparently was in Force Awakens, but I don't.
Yes, he was. He was in The Force Awakens in the scene where we first see Harrison Ford. Okay. And he's running from the bounty hunters and the tentacle monster thing. He's one of the bounty hunters.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then
also Isaiah Mustafa, who is the allspice guy.
Yes. He has way more hair in this. So I didn't even recognize it. But if you look up his picture, yes, he is definitely the Allstate man. And
the last name I'll mention is Charlton Copley, who we just saw. He's from District 9, but we just saw him in Monkey Man as the leader of the boxing ring.
He looks more like he looks in District 9 in this, I think, to me.
Yeah, much more.
He's older, too. District 9 is pretty old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this runtime is 1 hour and 55 minutes, which not too bad. Budget, no idea, because it's not on Wikipedia. They are hiding the budget for some reason, which, if you think about the box office, you know why. So the box office right now.
I don't think it's high. I don't think the budget is high.
I don't think the budget is high either, but I think it's very interesting we can't find it.
No.
The box office sits at $500,000, which is not
good at all.
High at all. It's only projected to do 2 to 3 million. It's opening weekend. I have seen about less than 0 promotion for this movie.
Yeah, they have not advertised this movie at all. The people had no idea this was coming out.
Not even the actors in. I've seen more Crow promotion than I've seen for Boy Kills World.
There was a Crow trailer in front of this movie.
And I don't get why you would put a movie out and just don't promote it at all.
I know they filmed the movie a long time ago.
But still.
Pre-COVID. It's been sitting, waiting for release forever. I'm sure this movie was done probably before he did John Wick 4.
Still, no excuse.
No excuse.
They didn't promote this movie at all. There were, including us, maybe 6 other people in the theater.
Yeah.
8.
This movie could have been marketed as like an action blockbuster. It fit the mold.
It did.
The fact that it didn't make any money is the studio's fault.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's going to be a hit on streaming because people don't know this movie exists.
No.
But
maybe they'll advertise it when it goes to streaming, but maybe. I don't know. It was foolish.
Yeah, very foolish. Cinema score is a B-, which is middling, not great.
I'm okay with that. And
I am okay with that.
So with the cinema score, you always have to consider like the type of movie. Mm-hmm. And when they saw the B-, some people were on Twitter like, oh, well, that's not good for this type of movie because it falls under John Wick. This movie was very gory. It made you wince and turn away a lot. And I did not expect it to be so graphic. So I can see why audiences would have not liked that aspect of it. Like it was a lot more gross than I expected it to be.
Yeah, and we'll get to our review. I can see why some people were kind of like, this wasn't really given what it was supposed to have gave. The critic score is 61. Audience score is 69 on Rotten Tomatoes. I can see why.
Of the same mind, which is also very rare.
Yeah, so audience and critics felt the same, which, as we always say, Rotten Tomatoes percentages, you have to think it's not like that people gave it a 69. More people liked it that didn't like it when you think about the percentages. So
still a fresh tomato and a fresh popcorn.
Right. So if it's over 50, that means most people that saw it liked it. If it's less than 50, that means most of the people who saw it did not like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you summarize the plot.
Sure.
Which is probably pretty simple. And by the way, on Wikipedia, there's no plot. That's how many people have not seen this movie.
So the plot is about a boy.
Mm-hmm, just boy.
Who is raised by a martial art master.
He's a shaman.
Who's named Shaman.
Mm-hmm.
He's some type of master of mixed martial arts.
Yes.
Raises this boy in the forest. He is deaf and mute. Mm-hmm. And he is training him to kill... Famke Janssen's character,
right?
Who is it's very strange. I don't know if she's like the president or mayor of this town, but she runs it.
She's given Commissioner Gordon, no, not Commissioner Gordon. She's given mayor, president.
She's given President Snow.
Head chick. There it
from
is.
Hunger Games.
There. I was about to say head chick in charge. Yeah, she's given President Snow.
He's being trained by this shaman to go kill her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And all of her people that work for her.
Mm-hmm.
And because she runs this city and she does an annual culling, mm-hmm. which is basically like the Hunger Games. Yes. Every year they pick 12 of her enemies and they hold either a public execution or a televised execution.
Both. I'm going to go with both.
To set an example and to keep people in the city in check.
Good summer.
So she needs a beheading.
Right. She does. She needs a quick, swift taken out.
Yes.
Essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about who we liked and didn't like in this movie.
I liked everyone.
Interesting.
There wasn't a character that I was like, oh, I hate this character.
Okay. I'll say I liked everyone, but not initially. So at the beginning of the movie, we get introduced to Boy. There's a lot of people in this.
And a lot of them are from things like that you've seen.
It's the boy. It's the shaman. There is Famke Janssen, who plays head chick in charge, but she also has her family. So there's a sister, there's a brother, there's a brother-in-law. There's two sisters. Yeah. A brother-in-law and a brother. I will say on the onset, I was very annoyed with the brother-in-law.
Sharlto Copley's character?
Yes. I was very annoyed with the brother. And I didn't really care about the older sister. I was like, all y'all are annoying me and y'all can go.
So I was thinking in terms of like, when we said who we didn't like and who we didn't like, I was thinking in terms of like actors.
Yo, yes, yes, me. I'm saying that.
You didn't like
I didn't like their portrayal. I was like, y'all are annoying. The line delivery is weak.
They're supposed to be.
I get it. But the way they were being annoying was annoying to me. I was just kind of like, I get that y'all supposed to be like a bickering family, but it just wasn't portrayed. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it came off.
I will say that every character in this, other than Boy, who doesn't talk,
right,
is like a cartoon character. They're like a cartoon caricature of a villain that would be taken seriously in a different movie.
Maybe that's why. Now I will say, as the movie went along, I liked them more. So they had to grow on me. Mm-hmm. Initially, the characters, I was like, I don't like this character and how he's doing. I don't like this character, how he's doing. But as the movie went along, I was like, okay, I'm turning the tide.
Yeah, every character got a moment. All of the bad guys got a moment where they kind of showed, they're not as bad as you think they are, or they are much worse than you think they are.
Yeah. And right. I'm with you. When we say who do we like, didn't like, I'm talking about the portrayal. Okay. I did not like it. The movie.
I did not mind the characters.
Okay.
They were very cartoonish and over the top and extra, but I didn't mind them.
Okay.
But I don't think anybody did a bad job. But I can see how some of the characters are annoying because some scenes did go on very long. Yes. The movie is 2 hours. It didn't need to be. It could have. This would have been much better serviced as an hour and a half flick. Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
A lot of, and it's weird because a lot of the scenes were like action sequences that went on very long.
And I didn't mind the long action sequences. I did not jive with the long dialogue sequences. I was like, wrap it up.
Some of the fights were so long and so bloody. I was like, for God's sake, somebody kill somebody, because I am tired of this.
It's just funny because I actually didn't mind that. The fight scenes were the highlight of this movie, and they put in work. But the dialogue, I'm like, if y'all don't wrap this junk up, I don't care. And
it wasn't very much gunplay. I mean, it was a lot of guns, but a lot of the killings had to do with like knives. Yeah, and knives, I just can't stand seeing somebody get. Oh my God!
We'll get to that.
I don't need to see somebody get stabbed for 2 minutes straight in different positions.
I actually quite enjoyed that. So actors, you must like everybody. I had to warm up to everybody.
I did have to warm up to the fact that everybody was a cartoon character. Okay. But after I got over that, I was like, okay, you guys are not. This is not based in any type of reality, because nobody will react this way to these types of things.
I would say Bill Skarsgard get very good for somebody who doesn't talk in the whole movie.
Yeah.
He screamed a couple of times, but outside of dialogue,
the whole movie is him doing physical acting.
And he doesn't even do sign language, but maybe one time in the beginning.
Yeah.
But everything else is just his voiceover voice. So he did very good not talking in a movie.
If you don't know who H. John Benjamin is, because he does the voice for Boy.
He sounds like he looks nothing like Bill Skarsgard.
No, but he is the voice of Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers, and he is the voice of Archer.
Yes.
And I think he's been in like Rick and Morty. He does a lot of voice work.
He is very popular. In the voice work. If you've ever, I'm trying to think, you would know him when you hear him, even if you don't know his name.
He's also in if you don't watch anything animated, he was in Parks and Rec. And the episode in the first season when Andy fell in the pit, he was the lawyer that the city sent over to stop Amy Poehler from apologizing and taking responsibility.
That's funny. All right. So anything else do we want to mention non-spoilery? Let me look at my notes.
It's a comedy. It's an action comedy.
Agree.
Not all of the jokes hit for me.
Agree.
But it was funny. I loved the action sequences.
The best.
They were really good.
Best part of the movie.
They weren't all one takes, but they were shot really convincingly to where, and it made sense. You could tell where everybody was.
Right.
It wasn't one of those things where there's an unlimited amount of guards coming out and you just don't know like when they're going to be done.
Okay.
But yeah, I like the action sequences. I like the music.
The music during the fight scenes was good. It was different.
It was like
video game.
Yeah, it was like video game action music. Yeah,
because the boy gets his inner monologue voice from a video game.
Because that's the last thing he recalls hearing before he lost his hearing.
Right. So that's how his voice comes about, and then they do use video game type music just during the fight scenes, which I liked. It was different. It's not something we typically get.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Another note, we actually talked about my other note, is where I said some of the side character speeches are drawn out.
Yeah, they have.
It's just like, I don't care.
Well, because
Bring on the fighting.
All of the villains, and it's kind of structured like a video game in that way, because there's Hilda Vanderkoy, who is played by Famke Jensen. She's like the lead.
Yes.
Evil person, bad guy in this.
She's the boss fight, main boss fight.
And all the people who work for her are in her family. So he kind of encounters all of the family members differently, and they're kind of like individual boss fights.
Yes.
So they all have to have, like, every boss has its monologue moment.
Right.
Where they monologue about why they got into it.
Like a video game.
Yeah, and whether or not.
Straight up Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, where's the boss at?
They do talk for a very long time in some sequences.
And then my other non-spoiler note is he's pretty normal for growing up in a jungle. So they didn't need to make it realistic, but he grows up in a jungle from age, I'm guessing maybe 12 or 13 to however old he is at this point, which is a grown man, and he's pretty well adjusted. I was like, okay, so he must have took him out to restaurants and stuff.
It looks like they visited town every now and then for like
he was
groceries.
The shaman was dealing something that they were going to town.
He had like some type of lab.
Right. So I was like, for him, it wasn't given Tarzan, where, Tarzan is kind of like, I don't know who people are, and I don't know what toilets are, and I don't know what a fork is. He was he
wasn't Nell.
Right. He wasn't Ariel. Like he knew how to work the above world. So yeah,
and so like this movie is kind of on rails, so there's not too much to not spoil. So I think I'm at the end of my non-spoiler notes.
Agree. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can cut it off now or not. Pause it. Don't cut it off. And come back and we'll do spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
So basically he
works his way up to the top, essentially.
Yeah, so he decides it's the culling.
Yes.
It's the culling has come around again. Mm-hmm. He's been in the force training since he was a 12-year-old, I guess.
Right.
Preteen. And he's an adult now, a young man. And the culling has come back around. So this is his moment. He has...
And I guess we didn't mention the reason why he wants to kill Famke Jensen is because she killed his family when he was a boy.
Yes, she killed his family when he was...
So this is like a revenge type movie.
As part of the culling.
Yes.
When he was a kid.
Right.
So...
Well... Yeah. I mean, we're in spoilers, but that's the premise of the movie before you get to the spoiler.
We'll get there later.
Right.
So he decides this is the time he's going to do it. So he sneaks into, I guess, the capital, the inner capital of this city, because his plan is to get in there and kill Famke Jensen, because whenever they do the culling, she reemerges. Apparently she hides out in a bunker every year until the culling comes around.
Which is hidden from the public. So this is definitely a Hunger Games situation where you got the underprivileged, poverty, poor folk, and then you have the people who actually come out and enjoy the culling.
Yeah, so you have the people,
got that Hunger Games
people in
dynamic.
the town who like praise this family for what they're doing, and then of course you have the rest of the people. And it's very strange because the people who are praising them are also get selected. Yes. That we'll get to. So it's very strange. But anyway, he sneaks in. He runs into Andrew Koji, who is not a slave, but an indentured worker, I guess, that works in their armory and builds their weapons for them.
Right.
He runs into Andrew Koji, and Andrew Koji's like, hey, we're developing a resistance. We've developed a resistance. Come with me to our hideout, and we can devise a plan to kill Hilda together. Right. So we have a couple fight scenes.
Long.
We also get the introduction of his sister. So Boy had a mom and a sister. The mom and the sister were killed by Hilda Vanderkoy. And because those were his last memories, he doesn't talk. He has an inner monologue, which is H. John Benjamin, but he also sees his sister
as her young self.
Yeah. So his younger sister is like his sidekick, but it's only in his mind. Only he can see and talk to her. She was fun.
She was a good addition. Yes. She wasn't. They did a good job of where to insert her and where to not insert her. She wasn't annoying.
And it gave him somebody else to talk to.
Yeah.
Because even though he has his team is Andrew Koji and
Allspice.
Old Spice.
Not Allspice. Not the seasoning. My bad.
Old Spice and Andrew Koji are his team members, but they split up and do different things. The girl, his sister, gives him somebody to talk to about things that are going on.
Right. So he can read lips, by the way.
Yes, like most deaf people.
Right. So that's how he interacts, because he's able to read lips. Although most of the people he encounters do not realize that he is deaf and mute.
Right. So they just because
actually all of the people he encountered don't realize
they just think that he doesn't like to talk.
Yes, exactly. And they don't realize he can't hear them either.
Right.
which is funny, because when he talks to Old Spice, because he reads lips and because he has so much facial hair, he has a goatee and a beard, he can't see his mouth. So throughout the whole movie, anytime Old Spice talks, it's like gibberish.
I put it down. It's like Simlish. When you play The Sims and the Sims are talking to each other and they're not actually saying actual words, they're just gabbing and yabbing. Right. That's what he hears when the Old Spice guy
he's trying to put like sentences together, but they make no sense because he can't read his lips. So that was a funny best running line in the whole movie.
Best running joke in a movie in a very long time.
Quite hilarious.
Because this movie has a lot of montages. So when Old Spice is talking to him about the plans or things that they've done while he was away, they kind of do like a cutaway where they actually show it, but it's ridiculous because he's not actually saying that.
Right.
He doesn't understand what he's saying.
He thinks Old Spice says something about like a goose and a loaf of bread and they show a scene with a goose and a loaf of bread because that's what he heard, because he can't read his lips.
Or he's telling him the plan of how they're going to break into Hilda Vandercoy's mansion. And because he doesn't understand him, he thinks he's talking about a robot and a scuba diver.
Yes.
So in the cutaway, they're breaking into the mansion and there's like a robot butler and a scuba diver standing in the entryway. It's hilarious.
And surprise, surprise, Old Spice doesn't make it out of this movie. He ends up getting killed. But his final words, and I was like, I knew that they're going to do it. His final words are something like, golden goose. Yeah. And then you're like, there's no way he said that. Because like he's dying and he's probably said something profound, but he can't read his lips. And so it comes off real goofy.
I love the fact that they committed. Yes, so even up to his death, we don't even know what his final words were.
Never knew what he said to him. So that was what I liked about the movie, is that they did a good job of portraying the character as this deaf mute guy and how he navigated not being able to hear and could only read lips. So that was done very well. Yeah.
So let's see. What did we like and what didn't we like about this movie?
I did not like the beginning was kind of choppy. So, and they purposely set it up to not give us a lot of background about the shaman and the boy and his family because of the big plot twist at the end of the movie. But it felt kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't as smooth as as a normal movie. It just felt like he was jumping. His training montage was not that great to me.
It wasn't great until he became an adult.
Yes, correct. Yes. The child storyline didn't land for me. I was like, let's just get to when he's grown. I don't like this.
So we see basically a training montage, and they try to explain away the choppiness of the beginning of the edit by
he was like
saying,
high or whatever.
Yeah, but basically the shaman it has him out in the forest smoking some type of magic weed. Strong. So he kind of says like, "Oh, my memories are messed up. I don't remember a lot." Right. So that's why the explanation of his backstory in the beginning of the movie is kind of like choppy and doesn't make sense.
The editing was also just not great.
The editing wasn't great all the time. The jokes didn't always land. And I guess the one big thing I didn't like was how the reveal at the end was executed.
Okay, so we're in spoilers, so we can talk about that.
Yes.
So the ending of the movie, so come to find out, Boy is actually Famke Jansson's son.
Yes.
So what happened was she and her husband were, we'll just say President Snow and First Lady Snow. And they killed the shaman's family because they thought he killed the husband.
Right.
So she actually had Boy pull the trigger to kill his family.
Right.
And what happens is how does he get a hold? He runs away. Oh, the boy ends up running away.
Yeah, he's distraught because he committed a murder.
Right. So he runs away. The shaman essentially kidnaps the boy and drugs him, chops off his tongue, burns his ears to make him deaf and mute, and then basically wipes the boy's memory through drugs. Yeah. Essentially. So the shaman sucks. Famke Janssen and the family sucks. Yeah. And we find out at the very end of the movie that he was a part of this family the whole time. And the sister that he's been seeing is actually alive.
Yes.
Because she's head of security.
So his sister didn't die.
No.
She ended up being stuck with Famke Janssen and raised by her and turned into her head of security, and I guess kind of like an assassin.
Pretty much.
A little bit.
Because she's called June 27.
Yeah.
She is also not given a name. So Boy and June 27 in this movie are brother and sister.
So the whole movie, even from the beginning, Boy tells us his motivation is he wants to get revenge for his mom being killed, right? But mostly for his sister,
because they had a good bond.
Yes, he really loved his sister. They were and I like the fact that they showed the bond between the sister. I like those
parts of the movie. Yeah.
I like the fact that the sister was younger but clearly smarter and more emotionally intelligent than he was, even as children.
Right.
So I didn't like the way it was executed because they kind of just did it.
It was very much
in the last 10 minutes of the movie as like hazy flashbacks.
Yeah, it was very much like, here you go.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Because all throughout the movie, we get flashbacks of him younger, hanging out with his sister, and having moments with his mom. And then when they do the reveal at the end, they just swap out Famke Janssen with the mom. And
the editing was kind of weird.
The editing was kind of weird. I wasn't all the way convinced that you can wipe somebody's memories this way and completely alter them.
Right.
He wasn't a baby. He was a 12-year-old.
Exactly. So we're supposed to believe that the shaman's drugs was so strong that he would totally forget his whole first 12 years of life.
Right.
And it was kind of like,
Like his whole, but his memories of his sister were so intact and so vivid.
Right.
But he didn't remember that Famke Jensen was his mom.
Yeah.
And that he grew up for like 12 years being like part of this rich, awful family.
Right.
It's very strange.
You had to really suspend your belief to believe that one, but the way that they presented it in the movie, it was just kind of like, yeah, it's kind of lazy.
It's the type of reveal that you could only pull off in like a cartoon, not in a real movie with real people.
Yeah, because Bill Skarsgard, he has a reaction, but it's kind of like
he's very not enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. Like he didn't really like.
I needed like a Luke, I am your father moment.
Yeah.
And he kind of just sat and dropped a couple tears silently.
He looked really confused, but I was like, this ain't enough. You just found out that the woman you wanted to kill is your mama.
And they just had it explained through Famke Jensen. Like she just narrated the fact that. It was
basically exposition.
Yes. She just exposited the fact that all of his memories were altered.
Yeah, you're right. That's one thing. They could have did the reveal, the plot, because it's a pretty big plot twist of the movie.
It's a major plot twist.
It
changes the entire motivation of the character.
Right.
And because at one point of the movie, you think that the shaman is going to be his Obi-Wan.
Right.
But the shaman is like, everybody's Darth Vader.
Like, yes.
Everybody in this movie is Darth Vader.
Exactly. Killing kids and killing innocents.
Killing children, killing innocents.
Yes.
Headshots in public, in cold blood. And and that was another issue, the balance between the killing and the jokes.
Okay, so let's do what we're doing liked and didn't like. I will say I loved all of the gore. I loved it. It was so over the top.
It was so much.
It was like, this is the goriest movie.
Action movie.
Now, I don't watch horror movies like that, so I'm sure there's a horror movie that takes the cake on this. But this is the goriest action movie I've ever seen.
And it's so strange because there's no guts. No guts and no innards. It's just like
no brain.
It's just like blood and skin.
They have so there's gunplay. It's mostly sword fighting though.
Yeah, there's a lot of sword and
a lot of knives. Hatchets. Somebody, the brother-in-law gets what does he get dropped on his face?
Some type of
anvil. We'll just call it an anvil.
Piece of machinery that
accidentally gets dropped on his face.
Gets dropped on his face.
You mentioned they didn't cut away from it getting his face being smashed. So you see a man's face getting smashed by 100-pound weight. So stuff like that. We're slicing bones and tendons and arms and legs. Every time they shot into the top of somebody's head, the blood would come out the chest or the face.
Yeah, a lot of shotguns to the face.
A lot of shotguns to the face and a lot of body holes.
A lot of body holes.
I think my favorite might have been the cheese grater.
Oh.
They used. So boy, as he's working his way to get to Famke Jensen, grabs a hold of a cheese grater because he has to go through a kitchen and he starts cheese grating people's face.
Why are arms, the chefs ninjas?
The chefs are ninjas, which I thought was odd.
When he comes in, the chefs start gearing up like they're fighting. I'm like, y'all are cooks,
right?
Why are y'all ninjas?
He sneaks into the mansion playing a chef.
Yes.
So I was like, well, y'all worker bees, just like he was a worker bee. Should y'all be working together? But no, he slices and dices these chefs via cheese grater, and it is super gory. I mean, super gory.
Like he's running a cheese grater across this woman's face. He ran a cheese grater through this man's armpit. I don't like armpit torture, armpit wounds.
It was great.
Soft tissue.
They had a red band trailer for a reason.
And they don't cut away from any of it.
No. There's no type of cutting away.
Yeah.
The only time they did it is when he fights his way through guards with a ninja sword when he gets off the elevator.
And I thanked them for that because at that point we had seen so much. I was like an
hour and a half of bloody, gory fights.
I was like, I'm okay with us getting like a cheesy action sequence where we actually skip seeing what happened because
we did.
I needed a break.
We basically just see a close up of his face as he's fighting, but we don't see him fighting and tearing down all these guards.
And we still got plenty more action sequences right after that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was fine with them. Yeah.
So I personally liked all the gore, and I don't like torture, but I don't mind gore, and this was a good level. I think because it wasn't blooding, I think because it wasn't like guts and eyeballs and ears and stuff, it was okay. Just because it was blood, I think it was okay for me.
I was fine with the blood. I was fine with the amount of blood and blood being everywhere. I was fine with the, I have an issue with like extended scenes of like flesh wounds.
Yes, flesh wounds is a good example.
Like there was scenes where they were like stab you with a knife and drag it through your body, and it's just like, oh man, it's just so gross.
If you like that sort of thing, this is your movie.
It was so good, and the fight choreo was super good.
Yes, that's one of my notes. Is that excellent fight choreography.
Absolutely. And the way the camera moved with him. I thought that was like, if he ducked, you followed him. It was kind of like parkour almost.
Yeah, this is what Zack Snyder's fight scenes in Rebel Moon should have been.
And no slow motion.
There was one. I think there was like one.
There would be slow motion scenes with like somebody's flying through the air.
Yeah, they were very minor. I should say that.
Very minor. A lot of it was very, very fast paced. And like, you just didn't see it coming. There were a couple moments where I like winced or went, ooh.
Yes, you were very vocal.
Yes.
We also had somebody super vocal next to me who was snoring the whole time.
Yes.
Like he was in his bed. So that was nice. What else did you like or did not like about this movie?
I like the colors. It was so the city was, we don't know what the city was. I don't recall them ever name dropping it. It's fictitious, completely fictitious though. Because it's like a metropolis that was created in the middle of a jungle.
It's like Gotham placed in a more tropical environment.
Yes, but in the daylight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I liked the colors. I liked the city, like the location. The action, the acting. Yeah, I mean, it was a really fun time.
It was straightforward. This is definitely not
like a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, you don't go for the plot, you go for the action, but I do appreciate that they did put a little twist at the end that I did not see coming. I did not see the fact that he was the he was the son of Famke Janssen.
Yes.
Now you caught on to the fact that the girl, the head of security chick, was his sister. Yes. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch on to that before they revealed it.
So Jessica Roth from Happy Death Day plays June 27, who is listed as the head of security. And when we're introduced to her, we don't get a face reveal until he actually has a one-on-one fight with her.
Right.
We get a lot of scenes of her wearing this helmet that has like text on it that spells out what she says. I don't know what the technology behind that is.
It was kind of pointless because I was like, oh, is she also...
Because she also talks?
Yeah. I was like, oh, is she also mute? But she perfectly fine.
It was just a cool video game character thing. Yeah. Like a video game character who has a helmet that says words on, that has words on
Somebody got to have fun in set design. So sure.
But I saw it coming because you could tell she was younger. And I thought it was very intentional not to do a face reveal. And then when they finally did the face reveal, because his hallucination of his younger sister constantly stays with him, even when he's doing fights. When they finally do a face reveal, there's like a pause and she goes, oh, she's pretty. And then she like knocks him out. And I was like, oh, this is going to be him finding out his sister was alive.
Okay.
But they could have went the other way because I thought that after that reveal, he was going to stop seeing his younger sister in his head because he had realized that she was alive, but neither one of them realized who each other were.
No.
And it didn't help the fact that he's deaf and mute, so he couldn't communicate that anyway. So.
Yeah, they don't have the realization until Famke Janssen says it, actually.
Yes.
That they're
at the very end, they still don't realize it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. Anything we would like to change before we get into our random notes?
I would have made the movie just a little bit shorter.
I would have cut a lot of the dialogue to make the movie shorter. And I particularly did not care about the youth, but I get them having to show him training him as a little boy, but I don't know.
That was one of my notes, though. I did like the transition, how they did the transition from him growing up.
Yeah, that was a cute little scene.
He was having a training. They did the training montage with the shaman, and then he turns around and you see Bill Skarsgard, and the little boy gives the knife to Bill Skarsgard, and the camera pans around, and you just know that's him grown up.
Right.
So he's passed the baton to his older self. I thought that was cool.
That was a nice little transition scene.
Yeah.
That was probably and then when we got to him being grown, I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm now enjoying this movie. I like the fact that all of the siblings hated the culling.
Yes, I did.
So we realized that Famke Janssen is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because she is afraid that the shaman is still out there who kidnapped her son, and she wants to find him, but she can't. So they're like, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? So when Boy shows up, the sister, well, we don't know it's his sister yet, but she's like, you've been trained by the shaman. Where is he? And he can't talk. So he's kind of like, no, I'm not going to give him up or whatever. Well, he can read her lips, but he's still telling her, no, I'm not going to give him up. But we realize that Famke Janssen hides in a bunker because she is paranoid, and she's holding the calling because she's trying to flesh out the shaman, I guess. But her brother, her sister, her two sisters, they hate it. Like, they don't want any parts of this. And year after year, they sick of it. And I thought that was pretty interesting because normally the family's all in on it. But they like, we tired of this BS.
They say a couple times that apparently there was some type of war and and Famke Janssen brought it into it. And all the family members are like, the war ended so long ago. We don't even know why she's still doing this. Right. We don't want to do this. We rather move on to doing different stuff. But she's so paranoid, and because she runs everything, we kind of just have to like go along with it.
Yeah, she's definitely head chicken charge of everybody.
So I did like the fact that everybody in the family disliked it and kind of disliked her.
Yeah.
But because she's family, even the sister kind of just like cleaned up her messes and took care of her and made sure the optics were good.
Right, made her look good.
So I did like that. And even though I think they all had moments that went a little bit too long, they probably could have shortened all of those moments just a little bit and still got it across.
Yes, for sure.
But I did like the fact that Sharto Copley's character gets killed in the middle of his monologue.
Yes.
While he's basically saying, he's married into the family through the younger sister. She picked him off the street and turned him into something presentable. And he goes in a monologue like, I want to help you guys kill her because this isn't me. They keep cleaning me up and making me put on these suits and putting me in front of a camera. This isn't my lifestyle. I don't like it. They keep putting me on a juice cleanse. He's like, I don't even like juice. And then he's like, I want to help you guys take him down. Let's do this. And Andrew Koji accidentally drops the anvil on his face and kills him.
Yeah.
I thought that was good.
I do. And as the characters started warming up on me, I like that they all had different personalities.
Yes.
Yeah. So the older sister is like chief of communications. So she's kind of like your Olivia Pope.
Yes.
You have the younger sister who is head of security, so she's like a ninja. And then you have the brother who's more like he
wants to be a writer.
He wants to be a writer, but he's more kind of like the cleanup guy.
Yes.
Essentially. So he's like an artiste stuck in a dead end job of cleaning up, killing people. So, and then the brother-in-law who got killed was the host. Of the show. So everybody, they did a good job of having the different personalities.
And playing their roles.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. The little sister is both fun and devastating. And before you know that she's alive, you think that she's dead, and he's having like these moments with his imaginary little sister. And it's fun because she's there and she adds comedy.
Right.
When he can't understand what people are saying, neither can she, because she's in his head.
Yeah.
So she tells him like, just smile and nod.
And he smiles and nods.
And when people are explaining things to him that doesn't make sense, the both of them are kind of looking at each other like,
I don't know.
We don't know what's going on. So the two of us are going to go off and do our own thing.
Right.
I love that. And it's devastating because you think she's dead.
Right. You think and there's a couple moments in the movie where she looks like she disapproves.
She's basically a ghost.
Right. She disapproves of what he's doing. And, they kind of have like this sad kind of stare down moment. And you're like, oh, that's right. She's actually not with us. And he eventually banishes her ghost because she's like, oh, you don't have to kill. Because he eventually kills the brother as he should. And she's like, oh, you don't have to kill him. He helped us. And he's like, nah, girl,
he's also the reason
I'm not
dead.
I'm not about this life. And then he slices the brother's, I don't know if he slices his head off or what.
He was going to die anyway.
But he kills him.
Because his sister shot him in the back.
Exactly. Like his family's jacked up.
Yeah.
But he kills him, but he banished her beforehand. I was like, oh, he got rid of little sister. But little did we know, she was just around the corner.
Yes.
Just around the corner.
I thought that was good. My third note in is that Helmet Girl is the sister.
Oh, really?
I just knew it.
I didn't catch it
because it's just such a tropey thing to not reveal the face of the character. It's Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader all over again. Not revealing and it's Kylo Ren. Yeah.
It is Kylo Ren.
And let's see my last note, because I didn't really have a lot of notes for this movie.
It's pretty straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward, and most of it is just action sequences.
Yes.
Like it's not very plot heavy. It's
like the opposite of Monkey Man.
Yeah, it is. And what plot is there, it squeezes in the very last minute in the reveal.
Or they just explain it to you. Like, here's the plot, by the way.
Yeah. And the cheese grater scene was
my favorite.
Crazy. For people who have seen Evil Dead Rise and the cheese grater scene in the kitchen, it's that times 10.
It's worse
with more people. And I also love the fact that the security guards that he was killing, they were like screaming in agony because he was just like mowing through them. Like barely anybody just got like shot and killed. Everybody had to die like horrifically.
The fact that the shaman was training the kid who killed his family to kill his mama very well. He did it very well. Like he didn't get lazy with it. He was like, I'm gonna train a killer to kill somebody else, even though this killer killed my kids, and I'm gonna do it very well, which he did.
So in the end, the sister and the brother, after they realize that who they are,
killed Famke Jensen.
Yeah, the sister kills Famke Jensen because she's nuts and she had to go, and she was evil. She still needed to have her head chopped off.
There was no redemption there.
The shaman shows up, and shaman's like, "You've done a great job. You've done exactly what I trained you to do." And the boy's like, "Everybody's dead. It's over." And he's like, "Absolutely not. You still have to kill your sister."
Still here
because I want. Because I mean, you find out the shaman doesn't really. It's kind of positioned like the shaman is like awful, but he's like the only father figure for this kid because he technically raised him in the forest
and wiped his memory, so he don't have a memory of another. Well, I guess he still got his mom memory. Interesting how that worked. Anywho.
Yeah. So the shaman shows up. He's like, "I want you to kill your sister." Bill Skarsgard's like, "No, I'm not doing that." So boy and June 27 girl team up. Team up, have a very, very long, brutal fight with the shaman.
I mean, we slicing arms, we slicing legs. Somebody's Achilles tendon got sliced off. Ugh. We breaking bones. Yuck. We poking each other in our wounds. He did that quite a few times.
They eventually kill him.
Yes.
Because he needed his killing too.
He deserved it as well.
He definitely deserved his killing.
You can't kidnap kids and do that.
You can't he cut that boy's tongue off and stuck hot iron in his ears to make him deaf and mute. Like, that's insane.
Torture.
That would crazy. Be child abuse.
Yes.
They kill him and they live. They just walk off into the sunset.
I feel like they deserve to live.
Yeah, they had horrible lives, both of them.
I agree.
Because at one point I was thinking, oh, well, maybe the girl does have to die because it's to assume that she's also participated in the culling,
right? Because she's head of security.
She's killed so many people, but she's a product of having to be raised by cuckoo Famke Jensen.
I agree.
Boy is a product of being raised by both Jensen and the shaman. And she was
the youngest of the family.
And she was a little girl, so it's definitely believable that she, at that young age, would have been molded into a killing machine.
I like that. I was worried that they were going to kill them both off, or maybe just kill him off. It's like, oh, he doesn't have anybody left. He found out his family was crazy, so he doesn't want to live. I like that they both lived at the end.
Yeah, and they get their happy ending.
Yes.
And it's kind of like, we get an after credit scene where it's kind of implied that they're like going to be messed up for the rest of their lives because of what they've gone through. But I mean, that makes sense.
They should be.
I don't consider that not a happy ending.
No, I mean, they're going to have to, there's some PTSD there.
Yeah. They'll need therapy for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Okay, so who would like this movie?
I feel like if you like John Wick, you would like this. Just don't eat before or during the movie.
Yeah, bring your iron stomach.
Yes, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
you might do a little, but it's fine. You'll be fine.
It's John Wick-esque action.
Yes,
scaled up with a lot more blood.
Think it's even worse than Kill Bill. Kill Bill had a lot of blood, but
you know what?
It's like
the whole every action sequence is like her versus the Crazy 88s.
The whole time with like more blood.
Every action sequence is like that, times 10.
But
Crazy
it's well choreographed. It looks good.
Great.
Sound effects are very much on tune. So if you like Kill Bill, John Wick type of action, you would like this movie.
Absolutely. Favorite line or favorite scene?
Cheese grater scene would be my favorite. It's so ridiculous. It's not even a long scene, but it's so ridiculous and out of the box. And it's hard to not flinch, but it's good. I'm sorry. It's like the worst scene, like gore wise of the movie, but it was so good.
I guess my favorite scene would be the culling.
Okay.
Because the culling is basically like
chaos.
A televised episode of Teletubbies, but the Teletubbies are killing people on live television. Like they have these people, the culling, they take 12 people from the town, put them on TV on a stage, and they film it on a TV set like they're filming the Teletubbies. They have these... It's
like a Winter Wonderland Teletubbies.
Yeah, they have these... It's like a Christmas special. They have these characters dressed up in like these furry costumes.
One's like a captain. There's a bear or something, or goose. I don't know.
There's a giant pineapple. There's an octopus person.
It's weird.
And they basically televise these people dressed up in these costumes killing people.
Right.
On TV.
Boy and his team take over and kill everybody.
Yes, and they turn the tables and they end up killing everybody.
That was a good scene.
I liked it.
And
it was so goofy.
It was goofy, gory, graphic, and ridiculous, but also like finally the bad guys are getting killed here.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Great action all around. Okay, so final words about the movie and our rating.
I would say it's a good time. It's super light on the plot, so don't go in thinking you about to get some sort of like Dune level plot.
No, absolutely not.
You are only here for the action and the gore. So I would say I would give it 3.5 Nicole Kidmans.
I would give it the same.
Okay.
I would give it 3.5 Nicole Kidmans.
It was leaning more towards the 2.5, 3 at the beginning. I'm like, they're going to have to get rid of these side characters or chop this dialogue. But it picked up towards the end. So I'll give them that.
The points would be knocked off for me because not all the comedy hit.
It wasn't super
because
hilarious.
People were getting murdered and people this was like the worst place in the world to live.
Yes.
Balanced with the jokes.
They were horrible. Like they were like hanging people.
Yeah, they like outside of Hilda Vanderkoy's estate were people hanging on a tree.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then the fake flashback that we got of that the shaman basically input into the boy was that they hung his family after they killed him, and he survived and he like came and rescued him, and that's how the shaman got a hold of him. But like that's not really what happened, but the fact that they showed us that scene was kind of like, ugh, I didn't need to see that.
And they were like hanging the kids too.
Yeah, so the kid involvement, I'm gonna knock some points off of that because you don't even see all that.
So yeah, I would only knock the points off because I don't think the comedy hit, and I do think it was a little overly long. It could have been short.
They could have been a smooth hour 35 minutes.
Was it worth the theater? Yes, it was absolutely a theater movie.
Yeah. I actually feel bad that nobody else saw it.
Yeah, I think if it had been advertised like at all,
like period, like a Google, like
just
a
once.
YouTube ad,
somebody had tweeted about it at least.
Any of the actors in the movie could have mentioned that they were.
They still haven't even talked about it. I think that they did a press screening.
Okay.
Like
well, this
premiere?
premiered at a film festival before this.
Yeah.
So,
but they did like a actual like opening premiere.
Oh, did they?
But they didn't televise it. There was no red carpet. There was no discussion about it. The only thing you can find out about it is people who attended who took like photos themselves. It's
kind of like, well, if you don't care about your movie, why should I? Interesting.
Just they fumbled their own bag on this.
So if you listen to this and this movie is still in the theaters, because I don't think it's going to be there very long.
This is going to shoot to streaming.
You should check it out in the theater. If not, give it a stream.
Yeah, absolutely. So go see this in the theaters. But if you don't, no pressure. It's going to go to streaming. And
you can watch it at home.
You can watch it at home with a bucket because you're going to need it.
That bad.
Okay, so are there any other thoughts that we want to spill about this movie?
No, I think we're good to wrap it up.
Okay, well, that is the end of our review for Boy Kills World. What are we watching next week?
We are finally going to go see The Fall Guy. And I only say finally because they've been, speaking of promoting movies, they've been promoting this movie like...
For ever.
like the second coming of Jesus. It's just been everywhere. So hopefully they get their money back for this promotion budget.
It looks funny. It looks fun.
I was sold after the second trailer. When they first announced it, I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. It seemed like it'll at least be entertaining and funny.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Listen, that's
everywhere.
His agent,
why is he everywhere?
He probably got a new agent.
He's like literally everywhere.
He must have picked up Chris Pratt's agent.
Yeah.
Or something. Because that man is, yes, I forgot he was in this movie. He is now about to be everywhere.
I don't think Ryan Gosling is particularly funny, but I think Emily Blunt is. So
I think when you pair Ryan Gosling with the right person, he is funny.
And M'Baku is in this movie.
Yes, Winston Duke is also in this movie. Hopefully he's in it for a significant portion of time.
Yes.
Speaking of people who need to be in more movies, Winston Duke.
Yes.
Hello. Get Aaron Taylor Johnson's agent, Winston. He's obviously good at the job.
We'll be back next week to review Fall Guy. Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please share it. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website, vaguelynerdypodcast.com, where you can also leave us a voice message that we can play on the show if it's nice.
Please be nice.
Nice only.
Mm-hmm.
You can also follow us on Twitter at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. I'm sorry, Vaguely Nerdy Pod, or IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. Switch those. And you can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com.
Sweet.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.